Lazy Pete, structure lesson. Instructions. Watch the video lesson to understand how this grammar structure works and how you can use it to communicate more efficiently. Let's move right along to our structure lesson. We are starting another brand new module, which means we'll be looking at a new grammar structure. We have got some great things for you, so don't slack off or give up. This module will be somewhat of a continuation from the last one. Yet, in a way, it will be different. Last module, we looked at auxiliary verbs, as you can remember. So in this module, we will be looking at modal verbs. We mentioned last episode a little about modal verbs because they are a special kind of auxiliary verb. I am sure you have seen them before, but did not know that they were called that. Today, I want to talk a little about modal verbs and explain what they are. But we won't go into much detail about the rules because we will save that for next lesson. What are modal verbs? Modal verbs are a special type of auxiliary verb. They give more information about the function of the main verb that follows. They indicate modality, meaning that they tell of the subjective attitudes and opinions of the one speaking. This includes ideas like possibility, probability, necessity, obligation, permissibility, ability, desire, and contingency. Some classify modal verbs into two categories called pure modal verbs and semi-modal, quasi-modal verbs, which are sometimes called substitution modal verbs. But we will look at this at a later time. Here is a list of the modal verbs for you to take a look at. You need to familiarize yourself with them as we will be working on them over the next few lessons. They are as follows: can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. Position of modal verbs. Modal verbs will always have the first position at the beginning of the verb phrase in English, no matter what tense they are in. Take a look at some example sentences below. Modal verb plus base form equals might climb. Modal verb plus be plus present participle equals might be climbing. Modal verb plus have plus past participle equals might have climbed. Modal verb plus have plus been plus present participle equals might have been climbing. Modal verb plus be plus past participle equals should be swept. Modal plus be plus being plus past participle equals should be being swept. Modal verb plus have plus been plus past participle equals should have been swept. Modal verb plus have plus been plus being plus past participle equals should have been being swept. Here are some actual sentences using the structures that you saw above with possible verb-phrase combinations that contain modal verbs in the English language. Modal simple: I might climb the mountain. Modal continuous: I might be climbing the mountain right now. Modal perfect: I might have climbed the mountain yesterday. Modal perfect continuous: I might have been climbing the mountain instead of sitting at home. Sample usages of modal verbs. Like I said before, modal verbs give us more information about the function of the main verb. They tell us about the subject's attitudes and opinions while speaking. Let me give you some more examples of this. The following 4 sentences are ways you can ask for permission. However, they each have a different degree and type of modality. Can I use your computer? asking for permission. May I use your computer? More politely, asking for permission. Could I use your computer? Asking for permission with less certainty. Might I use your computer? Asking for permission politely with uncertainty. Now look at these sentences that are almost identical to each other, except for the fact that we have changed the only modal verb in each sentence. You could look at me, suggestion. You might look at me, uncertain suggestion. You should look at me, strong suggestion. You must look at me, even stronger suggestion. You will look at me, strongest suggestion. Can you see how the modal verbs change the whole attitude or opinion of the person who is speaking? Everything in each sentence remained the same, including the main verb look. The only thing that we changed was the modal verb. Yet each modal verb gives each sentence a whole new feel. Well, guys, that is a basic overview on modal verbs. Next lesson, we will dig a little deeper and talk more about how they are used so you can get to know them even better. But for now, this should be enough to wrap your head around and get you started. Hope you have enjoyed this lesson and learned some new things. We will see each other around. Later!